Hello students, till the last time we have dealt with the radioactive disintegration term and the properties of the different radioactive rays that are emitted in this process. Now we will be dealing with the rate with which a radioactive substance disintegrates, and that comes under the heading rate of radioactive disintegration. Basically, this rate of radioactive disintegration is defined as the quantity of the radioactive substance that changes or that disappears in the unit time. So, if I am to define the rate of radioactive disintegration, that I am going to indicate by the symbol R, so it is change in the quantity of radioactive substance, and it is divided by the total time taken in this change. So that is the representation for the radioactive disintegration, for the rate of radioactive disintegration. Now, if I talk about this rate of radioactive disintegration, that with what factor it is affected by, then basically this rate of radioactive disintegration is affected by the two factors, and the very first out of these two is nature of disintegrating substance. Means what the substance you are going to undertake for the radioactive disintegration. The rate of the disintegration will depend on the nature of the substance. Like if we are having one time radium as the radioactive substance, and the other and at the another time we are having thorium as the radioactive substance. So since these are two different radioactive substance which will be having different nature, so the rate with which these two will disintegrate will be different. So this nature of disintegrating substance decides the rate of radioactive disintegration. And the second factor that affects this rate is the amount of the radioactive substance that is present at that time. And here we will be discussing the second factor in detail here. And this is studied under the heading of the law of radioactive disintegration. This law of radioactive disintegration was proposed by two scientists. The name were Rutherford, and the same what we have read in the group displacement law, it is Soddy. So the scientists were Rutherford and Soddy. They studied the rate of radioactive disintegration of different radioactive substances by taking different amount of these radioactive substances, and finally they found that the rate of radioactive disintegration, it depends on and it is directly proportional to the number of the radioactive nuclei present at the time of radioactive disintegration. Such as if we are having the different amount of the different amount of one radioactive substance, like I am taking the radium here, and I have taken two samples of this radium. First time I am using 8 gram of this radium, and at the other another side we are using the double amount of this, that is 80, that is 10 gram. So when we consider the rate of radioactive disintegration of these two nuclei, we will be finding that the sample which is having higher amount of radioactive nuclei will disintegrate with a higher rate, since according to the law this rate of radioactive disintegration, it is directly proportional to the number of radioactive nuclei. That is the law of radioactive disintegration. And now if we move to the mathematical representation of this law, then since according to the law, the rate of radioactive disintegration, to write the mathematical expression of this law, here I am considering that there is a radioactive substance going to be symbolized by the symbol A, and it is going to be converted into a different nuclei by the process of radioactivity, and this nuclei is B. If I observe the rate of radioactive disintegration at T is equals to 0. So when we observe the amount of these two at T is equals to 0, and here we are going to find the number of radioactive nuclei. So initially this A has the number of nuclei N0, and since the initial amount of we have not taken any amount of B here, so the initial amount of this nuclei B is 0 or it is nil. Now after some time, when this A starts going to be converted into this nuclei B, then after some time this N0, the amount of this N0 will goes to decrease, and finally if I find the amount at T is equals to T. So at T time period, when we observe the number of nuclei present for these two, we will be finding that some radioactive nuclei out of this N0 will be converted into the another radioactive substance, that is B here. And now the final amount of this A is considered as N here, and the final amount of this radioactive nuclei B, here I am going to be represent this by the symbol N0. Since I am to represent the rate of radioactive disintegration here, and the rate of radioactive disintegration is basically the change in the amount of radioactive substance divided by the total time taken in this change. So to represent this rate of radioactive disintegration, here we are to find the change in the amount of radioactive substance. Initially this radioactive substance was having the amount N0, and finally it's having the amount N. So if I represent the change by the symbol Dn, where Dn is the final amount of radioactive substance, that is N, minus the initial amount of radioactive substance N0. So when we divide this change in the quantity or the amount of radioactive substance with the total time, and here the total time is T, that is the final time, minus 0, that is the initial time, and this change I am going to represent by the symbol dt. So this kind of representation, dn by dt, will represent the rate of radioactive disintegration by the symbol R. And since the number of radioactive nuclei with time they are going to be decreased. Initially there was a high number of radioactive nuclei A, and when it is going to be converted into B, this number is continuously going to decrease. So here to represent the decrease in the amount of the radioactive substance, here we will be using the negative symbol. So that will be the expression, mathematical expression for this rate of radioactive disintegration. And now it can be represented as change in the amount of radioactive substance dn, change in time dt, and since this is going and since the amount of radioactive substance is continuously going to decrease, so here we will be using the negative symbol. Since according to the law of radioactive disintegration, this change is directly proportional to the number of nuclei present at that time, and since the final number of nuclei are n, so this minus dn by dt is directly proportional to n. That will be the representation according to the law of radioactive disintegration. Now, since it is in the form of differentiation, so and this dn covers a very small time period, the change that occurs in very small time period. So if we move for the integration of this to find the rate of radioactive disintegration for the total time period, now we will be doing the integration of this, and whenever we are going to do the integration, we will be using this n value towards the left hand side, and we will disintegrate this n with regard to this dn, and the representation will be minus dn by n. It is directly proportional to dt. If we remove the proportionality constant from here, if we remove the proportionality sign from here, this will be represented as minus dn by dt is equals to lambda n. And as we have moved n at the left hand side, this can also be represented as minus dn by n is equals to lambda, that is the proportionality constant here, multiplied by dt. Here lambda is proportionality constant, and this proportionality constant that we are using to define the rate of radioactive disintegration is called decay constant. Here this lambda can be termed as decay constant, or the another name we can use for this lambda is disintegration constant. And the value of lambda, it depends on the radioactive substance itself. Now if we integrate this value for the whole change, so now since the initial time was 0 and the final time was t is equals to t, so we will integrate this dt by taking the lower limit t is equals to 0 and by taking the upper limit t is equals to t, and the change in the amount of radioactive substance that was going to be occur at t is equals to 0, the number of nuclei n was equals to n0, it was the initial number of nuclei, and at t is equals to t, the number of final nuclei was I have represented by the symbol n. So when we move for this kind of representation, the value of 1 by n, the integration of 1 by n with regard to dn, it will be equals to log base e n, that is the natural log, and here the value after the integration we will be finding as lambda t. Lambda is a constant, so it will not participate in the integration, and dt, when we go for the integration of this dt, it will come like t with the integration constant c here. Now if we move to find the value of this integration constant, so to find the value of this integration constant, when we take the time t is equals to 0, so as we put the value t is equals to 0 in this equation number first, you will be finding here it will be minus log base e at t is equals to 0, the number of nuclei that were present I have indicated by the symbol n0, so it will be minus log base e n0 is equals to lambda t. Since here the value of t is equals to 0, so it will be 0 and the final value will be equals to c, so that is the value of c. Now if we put the value of c in the equation number first, you will be finding the value as minus log base e n is equals to lambda t, and here I am going to put the value of c, that is minus log base e n0, that is minus log base e n0. If I take the amount of radioactive substance at the same side, so it will be represented as lambda t is equals to minus log base e n, that is the final number of nuclei, plus log base e n0, that can also be represented as lambda t is equals to log base e, since it is the positive value of the log, so it will become as the denominator n0 by n, so that the representation we can use here. And since to solve the questions based on log, we always use the log table, and log table gives us the value which gives us the value of those things which are having the log base 10 value. So here we will be converting the log base e into log base 10, and as we convert this log base 10 log base e into log base 10, here this value will be multiplied by 2.303. So it will be lambda t is equals to 2.303 log base 10 n0 by n. This can be the third equation here. If we are to find the value of decay constant, or we are to find the value of total time interval in which this change occurs, so this can be represented as 2.303 divided by the decay constant lambda multiplied by the log n0 by n. That is the representation that we will be using while doing the calculations based on this law of radioactive disintegration. Here this lambda indicates decay constant, This N0, it represents the number of nuclei in starting. N represents the number of nuclei, and this represents the final number of nuclei, while the change in the time period in which this N0 is going to be converted into N, this time period here I am going to indicate by the symbol T. So it is the time in which the total change occurs. Now, by using these formulas, we can also represent this rate of radioactive disintegration in the exponential form. Like here, the formula second is lambda T is equals to log base E N0 by N. I can also represent this like minus lambda T is equals to log base E, and the value will be N divided by N0 here. If we convert this in the exponential form, then the representation will be N is equals to N0 e to the power minus lambda T. That can be the another representation for this rate of radioactive disintegration, and here this can be termed as equation 5. So there are some formulas, and these formulas will help us when we will be doing the calculation based on this law of radioactive disintegration. Here two more terms are to be discussed here, and the terms are, the very first we will be discussing about half-life. Basically, this half-life is defined as the total time period in which the number of active nuclei becomes half. Like by taking a simple example, we can understand this. If I have started with 8 gram of radioactive substance, and after some time it's going to be converted into half of this. Now finally it is reduced to be 4 gram. Then the total time period in which this kind of change occurs, like this number of radioactive nuclei or the amount of radioactive nuclei reduces to its half, then this time period is defined as half-life period. So it is defined as the time like if I am to represent this half life in the mathematical expression form, then from the equation number third that we have dealt before this, there the equation was lambda decay constant is equals to 2.303 divided with the total time in which the change occurs, multiplied with the log base 10 and 0 initial number of nuclei divided by the final number of nuclei. If I put the value of half-life here, then this half-life I am going to represent by the symbol T half. So if I am to find the expression for the T half, so here this T half will be equals to 2.303 divided by decay constant lambda multiplied with the log base 10, and 0 is the initial number of nuclei, so it will remain same, and this n, that is the final number of nuclei. Since we are talking about the change that occurs in the half-life period, so in the half-life period, this N0, that was the initial number of nuclei, will reduces to its half, and now the final number of nuclei will be, in term of N0, it will be N0 by 2. So here it is the value of N here, and as we put the value of N here, it will be N0 by 2. From N0 it will be cancelled, and this T half will equals to 2.303 divided with the decay constant lambda multiplied with the log base 10 2. As we know that the value of log base 10 2 is equals to 0.3010. So as we put the value here, it is 0.3010, that is a constant value, divided by the lambda decay constant. T half, on solving this, the value will be 0.693 divided with the decay constant lambda. So that is the formula with the help of which we can find the value of half-life period. And as we can see here that this half-life period depends only the lambda, that is the decay constant. Means this half-life period doesn't depend on the initial number of nuclei or the initial amount of the radioactive substance. Now we will be discussing one more term here, and that is called average life. This average life is basically the sum of the periods of existence of all the atoms when it is divided by the total number of atoms present in the radioactive substance. This is defined as average life. So means it is, in simpler word, it is the average of the total lives of all the radioactive atoms. And if I am to give the representation of this average life, then basically this average life is equals to total lifetime of all the atoms divided by total number of atoms. On solving this average life is represented by the symbol tau, and it is equals to, if I represent the total time period as t, the total number of nuclei as dn. So when we integrate this for the time period 0 to infinite, and the total number of nuclei we have taken as n0. So on solving this, we will be finding the value that this tau is equals to 1 by lambda. So that is the representation for this average life. And in term of decay constant lambda, this average life can be represented as 1 by lambda. If I put the value of lambda here in term of half-life period, then this tau will be equals to, lambda is 0.693 divided by t half. So in term of t half, this can be represented as 0.693 t half divided by 0.693, or in the simpler word, it can be represented as 1.44 t half. So that is the representation for the average life. Now in the next lecture we will be doing some problems based on the formulas that we have discussed here.